Your greatest alignment is to be with that you know. If you know you will be doing something, do not worry about the time frame. Allow yourself flexibility, because the time frame as you experience it is changing, it is altering. Although in your society that will be the last bastion to give way. The sun could rise and set in 4 hours, and they would still insist that there's a 24-hour day. And that is what we mean when we say it will be the last bastion to be changed. For scientists believe, and so because they believe, it can't be other. That is fact. It is that we are asking you to throw by the wayside and to allow the flexibility of experience. Experience, personal experience reigns. So trust yourselves. Trust that it takes, in your terms, a certain amount of time to align, and also for the greatest good of yourself. Often you are waiting for another. Often you have made agreements to perform certain activities or interactions with other individuals, those often that you have not met yet. And so you are waiting for them to do their work, to be caught up to you, or perhaps vice versa. You do not understand the intricacies of events. And if you learn to wait patiently and to know deeply within the self that what you are desiring will come about when the energy is ripe, it will be instant.
About 25 years ago, an individual whom I consider to be a great master, John Kennedy, moved across. Why is it that now, what is it we're supposed to be learning by all the flurry of activity, questioning his death? They're bringing up again, without getting into a National Enquirer kind of approach to this thing, I'm only interested in why his name is being brought up so much now, and as to who assassinated him. So.
He was, on your planet, the president of your country, the leader of every country, is the country's symbolic agreement as to who represents what they are, the majority. He represented rebelliousness, youthfulness, confidence, self-assurance. He tested deep waters. He was an individual above all else. He was also greatly loved, because as one studies, one sees that if the family was that large and they all loved the individual, then the individual is indeed loving. It is a demonstration, so to speak. It is an indication of who an individual can be. Now, who this man was and where he is now and the circumstances surrounding his now infamous inauguration and reign as president for the time that he was is greatly distorted. He was a great leader. He chose the rule that he chose, knowing that there would be implications that would reverberate out for eons. Because he was greatly loved, there will rise a great indignity on this planet, particularly within this country, as to the misinformation that was being given about who he was. In, as we see it, And when we say as we see it, you understand that we are speaking of probabilities now. As we see it, part of the term chaos that we have used before would be the linkage of certain information that has been suppressed. Now, it is not a coincidence that his anniversary death is being celebrated at this time. And there are many who know and who have kept themselves in quiet, as there are many on your planet who know many things, who have kept themselves in quiet, primarily for fear of their lives. There are many with great secrets, and the secrets are coming forth. Now, this man, this John Kennedy, he is a symbolic representation of one who would be unfettered, of one who would do as he chose to do, believing in his own greatness and creating from his point of view the greatest good for the greatest amount. That has been implanted as an image in the psyche of those in the United States. And when the full data and the implications and intricacies of his reign and his death are brought to light, it would act, along with other things, as a final. It could not necessarily even be final. It could be the initial movement towards moving people to begin to question what it is that they are spoon-fed by the media. You are also willing to believe all that you are told because it comes over a little box, or because you pay 50 cents for it, it is established. You believe that to be true. We say to you again to question all that comes your way. We would speak on something that we would reiterate to you, for we understand that there is concern with this. We have spoken that the years ahead will involve much chaos. We would also wish to add that during that time, if you choose your life to be in order, and if you choose to be in alignment with harmony in yourself, and be well provided for, and be a worker of light, a light center, or to be aligned with those who understood what was happening and facilitated their time within this chaos, then life will be a most enjoyable, pleasant place for you. The chaos will happen for those who do not understand what it is that is occurring. And chaos comes about to bring greater order. If you all understand that that is needed and that you are placing yourselves in order, then there's no need to be a victim of any chaos or any need to be afraid of the years that come ahead. For whether you plan for it or not, if you intend harmony, then you will have the greatest of experiences. And you will not be affected by any falls or change in the so-called society of the world.
I'm embarking on a project. I wish to give tools and gifts and help to many. Will this be a help in the coming years?
As we see it, Those who need to partake in that form of change for themselves will be coming to you, and indeed it would be a service. Understand that each one can touch others in a very unique way. And if your intent is to create a world that is generous and harmonious for others, then and that would create the greatest good for yourself and for them, then the pathway will be open to you, and that those who need what it is that you are offering will be lining up for you. I understand that if you are motivated by greed and power, and that your financial status is of the utmost importance to you, then you may be lining them up indeed, but no telling what will be transpiring, for you would have great lessons to understand. We would also add there's nothing wrong with bringing in your green energies and money. You limit yourselves to how much you think is possible in your lives by how you think you can receive it. You do not think that you could go digging in your backyard and dig up a chest of it. You all think you have to work so hard for it. You think you have to put in time for it. And as the time becomes accelerated, you think you're not putting in enough time for it. And you get yourselves in tizzies with this whole thing.
I have a different problem. I realize and understand and have experienced that work is not always necessary for green energy. But I find myself not encouraged by this, but at a loss because of this. I think there's a certain stability that people experience with this limiting belief that they need to do this day to day, do this work.
Now, to a certain extent on your society, understand that you are dealing with a mindset that is basically shared. Now, basically, we say, is shared the world over and is ultimately shared within your United States. And that mindset is the paradigm of the beliefs that you are. And because you are not in love with yourselves, you have difficulty occupying large sections of your time, so to speak, with yourselves in an unstructured environment. You do not know what to do. And so for many, work is a necessary structuring of experience that because of your evolutionary path at this time, you need. Without it, you would be lost because you would not know what to do. It would be difficult for large sections of your society to be provided for and to not have to go and do something every day. What would you do with your time? How much television could you be watching?